I'm live, so I'm going to hit these. I'm going to do opening credits and all of that. Right, you see, you can actually do the opening credits with the mobile version of the StreamYard app. Welcome to the Kensington part of London. This is the Olympia, which is one big, giant aircraft hangar of a place. Like I say, I've said it on numerous occasions, I'm not a massive fan of this particular location because it is one big greenhouse. But as it happens, it's been relatively cool in London today, so it's kept the weather and the temperature in the room pretty reasonable. I mean, I am slightly sweaty, but it's just the way it is, purely because it's a lot of walking around and a lot of Comic-Con. Now, welcome to Talkin. My name is s11e15, and we're reporting from London Film and Comic-Con 2024. At the moment, you may hear a little bit of noise in the background because they are currently doing the cosplay competition. But it's not the biggest amount of people left in London at the moment, purely because it's Sunday and it has been rather warm. But it's been a fun day. I only did today. To be fair, I'm going to come this way so you can actually see what's going on. Only came down today, primarily to speak to a couple of people about my panel, which I would like to plan for next year, but also just to catch up with some people. It's been a while since I've been on a convention floor. I'd like to apologise for doing this a little early as well, because I am going to get on the road in about 20 minutes time. It's now 20 past 4, which means by the time I start getting on the road, it'll be 6 o'clock while I'm on the M1, and there's no way I'm going to stop and do a panel. If you've got any comments, hello Chuck Cook saying, how the devil are you? Hello devil are you, indeed Chuck, and indeed Toby saying hello, good morning. Leonard, thank you indeed for joining us so early, but that's just the way it is. Now, change of layout since the last time I was here. Usually, up there on the balcony has been where the comics artists have been, but they haven't really enjoyed that because no one gets told that they're there, so they got a little bit maligned. So this time round, all the comic artists are in that area there. In the middle. The comics talent have been spotlighted and showcased in the middle of the floor at a comic convention. What are the odds? So yeah, it's just been great to have that showcase there for comics talent, which is cool. And indeed the talent, the Hollywood people, have been up here at the top. And then you've got your photo area, your green screen down the bottom there, so that's where your superstars are being had. Denise Richards is over in that corner, looking very maligned. And that's the thing. Like I say, the footfall has not been great from what I've been hearing. The people that have been here, the people that have showed up, have had a blast. They've had a great time. It's been, I mean, everyone who's been kind of through the door have enjoyed themselves. But it hasn't been a massive amount of people. Friday apparently was incredibly disappointing. Then again, you've had 6 weeks of election nonsense. You've had all sorts of palaver happening off in the background. So I'm a little bit distracted because, yes, Hollywood person. So there we go. Yeah, Euros, elections, a week where in this country the weather has decided 4 seasons in one day and it didn't know what the hell it was going to do. So everyone just on Friday, I can imagine, looked at the tin of cider or lager in the fridge and went, I'm taking a day. Can we just take a day? I'm battered and beaten and I just want to take a day. I'll watch the Euros or whatever, and I want to take a day. Which meant on Friday, it was particularly poor at this building. Saturday was a little bit better, and indeed some half-decent numbers came through the door, and people were particularly satisfied with how they did and how their takings were. Saturday, this morning earlier, it was busy enough, but it was just a case of it's faded off rather quickly. So now it's a question of what now? What is going to happen with London Film Comic Con? I personally think they'll do rather well with it and continue. If anything, like I say, the people that have been here have had a blast. Everyone I've spoken to, in terms of people on the floor, people behind the tables, staff, they've had a great time. There's just not been as many of them, and I think that's a big indictment of fandom at the moment. There's just so much real world stuff going on, which is just distracting, and it's a little bit awkward to kind of keep a track on. I wish I could bring you some actual interviews which I've done, but to be fair, the ones that I have actually had a conversation with, which would be Shelley Bond, Philip Bond, and et al. All of which have decided, they said, no, we don't want the camera pointing at us, and a lot of stuff we're going to say we don't want repeating. So let's put it this way. Shelley Bond, I would love to get on my panel about the British invasion, if anything, because if I think I can just get her to start talking about her thoughts on why Vertigo failed or was closed, and the way that the British invasion kind of imploded a bit in the late 1980s. Safe to say that panel would be on the front page of Bleeding Cool the following day. It was she has stories to tell, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, don't we all? Who else? Simon Bisley was a bit of a surprise about his views, but that was something else. Shelley would be awesome. Shelley would be awesome indeed. Both Shelley and Philip would be fantastic guests on a British invasion panel. One small issue with that is just getting them out to the West Coast. They have agreed that at some point, if they did contribute to a British invasion panel, it would probably be virtual. So we probably have some pre-recorded video stuff, and we would drop it into the panel. It'd be the only way to do it. But again, I'd love to get her live, because that would be fun. Glenn Fabry, he was a great chat too. Some really great people to speak to, and it was just really good to kind of get a sense of where we are in the comics industry. People are very enthusiastic, especially about self-publishing and about creating their own projects. They're feeling that is where comics are leading at the moment. Your mainstream comics do one thing, but it's where old school Cyberman. Nice. The actor I was being distracted by was David Boreanaz, who was just wandering back to his table and probably sat next to Denise Richards in the corner. The Hollywood stuff has never really interested me, and I'm curious if it was just a case of a benefit to it being one room, because if they'd have split this over the two rooms, which they have done in previous years, it really would have looked very sparse indeed on the floor. But one room, it's done okay. Interesting and awkward. What else? Who else did I speak to? Lou Stringer's done a roaring trade this weekend. Jessica Martin's done rather well. It was great to have. Who else was kicking around? Oh, dear me. The guys behind Geezer, so Will Potter and Philip Bond, they just a great combo, and they can talk up a storm. Who else we got? Yeah, lots of people have been very busy with sketches and commissions, but actually selling individual items, not so much, because there just hasn't been enough people here. Yeah, it's been a success, but for the people that walk through the door, it's just a case of, is it enough people to justify the con? And I think Tony Lee and the organisers of Studio Masters will be reassessing that, and also assessing what rooms they need and what space they need. Is this enough for this con? Do you need the extra space to do photographs and panels and all of that stuff? The reason why they did come down to the one room is because of building work, by all accounts. Behind those shutters, apparently they're doing some work. That corner, they're doing some work as well. So it was just sort of like all kind of calmed down to the one room. But the one room, as it happened, was enough. So there we go. I zoom in on that note. Original artwork of Denise Richards, signed by Denise Richards. Hey, only at Comic-Con. The only way you can do such a thing. So that's me. It's only going to be a short one, this, because I just wanted to bring my impressions of London Film Comic-Con. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my day. It's a long drive to come down. Yeah, you shake that lightsaber, sir. It's been really fun to come down. It's just been a lot of time and effort to attend a room which ain't too busy. Also, it's been a lot of people asking about San Diego and what I'm going to expect from next 2 weeks. Did talk about exclusives. I was listening to a podcast by a unofficial group that follows the San Diego Convention Center, and they mentioned that the exclusives portal actually goes live tomorrow. So if you're interested in the exclusives, yeah, keep your eyes on your inbox and your bits and pieces as of tomorrow, because it looks like it's Monday and all that kicks off. So there you go. Right, that's me. I may do another one of these a little bit later when I get home and have more thoughts. But other than that, I'm going to make this nice and short and sweet, and say thank you very much indeed to anybody who's joining us. We got ourselves a nice audience number, but yeah, of course, any comments below, any questions, I will look into those comments, and any questions you have about London Film and Comic-Con, and indeed anything in general, on my return home, which will be in about 4.5 hours time. So drive and a half in it. Okay. Take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you once I get myself back and settled, and yeah, we'll do another bunch of live streams throughout the course of the week, starting with the exclusives portal kicking in tomorrow for San Diego Comic-Con. From London Film and Comic-Con, take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Trying to make it look exciting. See you in a bit.